Well, hello there. Hello, and hello again. Great evening, and thank you for being here. Please leave in the comments where you are tuning in from tonight. It's always important for me to know where my guests are tuning in from. So, welcome to the Sonya Dunge podcast, episode 167, sponsored by Always Destined for Greatness LLC, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. I am your host, Sonya Dunge, and yes, of course, still bringing that heat to the IG, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok streets. So, before we tackle tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about unstuck from turmoil to, from stuck in turmoil to unstuck in tranquility. But first, there are a few things that I would like to talk about first. Okay, so number one and foremost, so I want you to know that I see you. I hear you. I feel you. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. So, in that, I see that we have some new guests that are tuning in, and thank you so much for that. Um, but I want to share a couple of things with you first. So, long story short, and I do mean long story short. So I traveled abroad um, last week, and due to mechanical issues, we were unable to fly home. Okay. And I'm speaking to you calmly and everything now, but I wasn't so calm later, and I'll explain why. Um, So the first day that I was due to fly back, there were mechanical issues, and so the aircraft was taken off the runway, and our flight was, after 2 hours, we went from delayed to canceled. So in that, I stayed one extra day abroad, and the airline company took care of us, and they put us up in basically what I had came from on the other side of the island. I was in at the Rio Negril in Jamaica. And so I was at the airport closest to Montego Bay, well, in Montego Bay. So they put us up at the Rio Montego Bay. So it was great. I was upset I couldn't get back home, but I was grateful I was safe, and that we didn't have mechanical issues while we were flying. And come what may. Now, that was day one. I was alone. I was stuck. Okay, that was day one. That wasn't planned. So now I was able to fly after a whole bunch of controversy. Day two, um, I got stuck stateside, okay, in Miami. And I love Miami, but not Miami when you're being stuck, when you're trying to get back home, to job, etc. So that was due to the weather. So once again, I was stuck for day number two. I'm not looking for sympathy, by the way. Not complaining, oh, always me either. My point is this. So, as I found myself stuck in my current circumstances, all I could do was think about, Sonya, you're an overcomer. You've overcome greater obstacles. Just turn this problem into a project, because there's a message with all this mess. And so that's what I was saying to myself. And as they say, ain't no way. I hear it all the time. My kids say, ain't no way. So I was saying, ain't no way I'm going to miss being present for the Sonya Dunge podcast, episode 167 on Wednesday. Okay. I was stuck Monday. I was stuck into Tuesday. I was stuck Sunday, and Monday into Tuesday, yesterday. Okay, so from hell or high water, I flew here, there, made it happen, bugged every person I can talk to through the airline company because things happen that shouldn't have happened, etc. I took a shuttle, I took a bus, I took 2 trains to make it home. So here I am tonight. Can I get a clap, clap? Excellent, thank you. So secondly, I was really blessed in meeting new people along my journey. And I do see some here tonight. So others I'm sure will be watching the replay later. So welcome to the Sonya Dunge podcast. And thank you so much for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to be jumping back and forth. One moment to see. Yes. I'm so glad you got home safely. Thank God. Yes. I'm so grateful you got home safely. Thank God he watched over you. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And in that time, I was reaching out to my mentor because I missed for his Kingdom prayer call. So I was kind of upset about that as well. And he said to me, Sonya, God is watching out. So I found comfort in that. And like I said, I was in turmoil, y'all. I was definitely in turmoil. But once I heard that and I really started thinking it, I took it to heart and I paid attention. So welcome, Voice Overcomers. I'm grateful for your presence tonight. And tonight we will be dissecting Stuck in Turmoil to become unstuck in tranquility. As the dualities, you will be given some steps to remain unstuck in tranquility. Is everyone with me? So if you are, go ahead and put in the chat, please, with you so we can move forward tonight. I'm watching. Okay, wonderful. Also going to see if I can jump into the third platform. I like to be present in all platforms when I can so that I could read your great comments and not have to read them later on and comment as an after fact. Not that I mind, but I would rather read your comments in live time. So checking right now. Here we go. Okay. When I can, so that. Okay, so I could see you were watching. Thank you so much. Thank you. Looking for the comments as well. All right, so great. Also, if you're finding value or if you can relate to something that is being addressed tonight, please comment throughout the evening as well. I take these comments to heart. So thank you so much for that as well. If you're getting a breakthrough or even an aha, gladly accept those as well. Please, by all means, do. So first, we might as well start off with what the meaning of stuck is in turmoil and to move forward so we have a greater understanding as to what we're talking about, what we're hearing tonight, and how you can relate or get a breakthrough or aha or find value as well. So the meaning of stuck in turmoil, it alludes to that state of confusion, that uncertainty, or that emotional distress. Okay. And stuck, if you will, is you're unable to break free. You're unable to escape or find direction out of something. When it comes to relating to a person, they can feel overwhelmed or unable to find resolve from. Okay, so that's what that means. So essentially, like the example that I was talking about earlier, you're stuck in an unfamiliar country as I was, even though I've gone there before, it's still unfamiliar to me, not knowing when I would be returning back to the States, or once back in the States, not having to figure out how to maneuver back home. Okay, so that kind of explains the emotional turmoil. Okay, and speaking of turmoil, for those of you who don't know, I'll share a bit of my story. The reason why I sit in front of you guys this evening, and this is the reason why I have the Sonya Dunge podcast, and why we're at episode 167, is because back in 2021, January the 23rd, to be exact, of 2021, it was precisely at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the VA hospital in Northport, New York, while I sat at my dad's bedside, holding his left hand, in the height of the pandemic, I witnessed a tear roll down my dad's cheek. And in that instance, my dad took his last breath here on this earth, and his first breath in heaven. And as a direct result, I immediately went into turmoil. I spiraled out of control. I screamed, I hollered, I begged, please, Daddy, don't go. Because the backstory of it was, I have siblings who I love and adore, and we're all close. But I was the only sibling here in New York with my dad. So I was his caretaker. So I would take him to his appointments every 2 to 3 weeks. And he had a rare blood disorder where his red blood cells were not matriculating through his body. So it gave the impression that he was losing blood. But in fact, he wasn't bleeding out. But so he needed transfusions every couple of weeks. And as his doctor, who was the head of oncology and hematology at the time, said, I'm not too concerned about that. He said, you're like a well-oiled machine. Your body, when you have an old car, you don't go and buy a brand new engine when they're leaking oil. You just keep putting oil as needed back into the engine. So we were okay with that. And that was just the way it was going to be. That was just going to be my dad's way of life. And then when I took my dad to his last doctor's appointment, a doctor I've never seen before, never want to see again, no shade, but trust and belief. She sat before my dad and I and said, could I be frank with you? And my dad said, and this is probably the first time most of you are hearing this part of the story. My dad said, yes. He said, I'm a straight shooter. I believe in straight shooting. So this woman said, you have 6 months to live. Imagine hearing that out the blue, totally out of the blue. Come to find out, my dad's doctor that we trusted and confided in had left practice, and these other people were coming through, I guess, assigned to various patients, what have you. I was in shock, disbelief, to say the least. And I kept saying, Sonya, don't show emotion, don't get dad upset, just blank out. And that's what I did. Because a part of me wanted to react, and I don't want to tell you how I wanted to react, but we'll save that for another day. However, 6 months turned into less than 48 hours later. It was less than 48 hours. That was Thursday, approximately 4 o'clock for his appointment. Shortly thereafter, when this news was delivered, it was 12 o'clock on Saturday when I saw my dad take his last breath. I held his hand. That's why I was screaming. I was hollering. That's why I was saying, no, I can't. The family who was in New York that could make it was outside in the frigid, cold January air, while only two was allowed inside. And that was my son and my daughter, who was Zooming everything. It might sound morbid, but it was the only way that the family could say their goodbyes that were abroad. I had a sister in Florida, and some in New York, and some spread here and some spread there. But everybody wanted to be able to say their last goodbyes, and that's what we did. And it wasn't for the graciousness of a nurse who told my daughter, "Where's your mother? Where's your mother? Go get her. I don't care what the doctors say. Go get your mother." And I was able to be there with my father as well. Because of all of that, me making plans that I'm going to take everything out of my bedroom and put it into storage where I could make those 6 months as comfortable as possible for my father, and get him a recliner, and, talk and fellowship, and, go out to his favorite restaurant to eat, and me gain more weight probably because of me going out to eat, whatever the case may be. I didn't care what I had to do, but my father was going to be as comfortable and be as happy could be for those 6 months that turned into less than 48 hours. So I was in turmoil. I was stuck. Okay. I was that gerbil, that hamster, if you will, on a wheel, around and around, going around and around. That's what I was doing. I was surviving as best I could. I was working from home. So I was going across my living room from my bedroom into my shishi room, do my 6.5, 7.5, whatever my tour was, jobbing, shut down everything at the end of the day, walk back across the living into the bedroom to start all over the next day. I wasn't eating, didn't realize. I was running back and forth to this cemetery because I felt that that's where my dad was and I could be close to him there. And this went on for 342 days, stuck. I was suffering in silence. I didn't want my family to know. Unbeknownst, they knew, but I didn't know that they knew because I didn't want them to grieve more than they were grieving. My daughter, my son, they were having a hard way about it. And so was my older daughter. I just took it for granted because she was in the medical field. So I wasn't thinking that she's grieving too. And I didn't realize that until years later. And I apologized to her because she had every right to grieve just as the rest of us did. And it was after those 342 days of being stuck with no direction, no end in sight, that enough became enough. And I had to do something about it. That wasn't what my dad expected of me. My father raised his children a certain way, especially the girls, to be strong and independent. And I wasn't being strong. I was being selfish, but not realizing what I was doing. And when enough became enough, I wasn't spending time with my grandchildren, 3, now 4 of them, 3 at the time. I wasn't spending time with friends. I wasn't doing anything. I sought help. I found a mentor and a coach and a community of like-minded individuals to uplift me and to support me in my darkest moments, even when they didn't know that they were supporting me. That I could be vulnerable and be myself, and they wouldn't judge me. It would be non-judgmental, that non-judgmental zone. That's what I needed. But I had to invest in myself in the process, and I did that. And by me doing that is the reason why I'm sitting before you today. Because you see, now today, I am, besides a podcast host, I am also a transformation coach. And I get to help those that are struggling in hardship and grief and life challenges go from suffering in silence, feeling stuck and broken with no direction, no end in sight, just like I was, to become unstuck and resilient with clarity and an attitude of expectation and of excellence, so that they can achieve their economic independence and be destined for their true greatness and walk fully in their God-given purpose. That's why I do what I do today, because I don't want anybody to suffer the way that I did. And if you're out there and what I describe is what I was, and that sounds like you, please DM me. Please DM me today, and I will guide you through. But you see, you have to know that you need to, and you have to know that you want to. I can't want it more than you, because I can't pull you off the struggle bus as much as I want to. You have to do it for yourself. And for those who have reached out to me in the last couple of months, I appreciate you. And it has hurt me to the core of my being to know that there's some of you that are out there that have been stuck in grief for many, many, many years. Even friends of mine that I didn't know that you were suffering the way that you were. And I pray that you listen to my podcast and you go back and listen to the previous ones. And there's something that I say resonates for you, uplifts you enough to know that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay stuck. And it's time to move forward. There is a grieving period, and we don't know what that grieving period is, but I'm pretty sure it's not 20 and 30 years later and more. That starts wearing and tearing on your mental stability. I don't want that for you. I love you too much for that. So with that being said, I really and truly didn't expect to go off on my tangent, but I do at times, and I'm not sorry for that, because I feel that I am the vessel, and that's the way that God's leading me. I was led in this direction tonight, and it's okay. So with that, we're going to talk about some of stuck, okay? So another type of stuck is situational turmoil, okay? It could be financial. It could be that at the end of the week or the end of the month that you have more bills than you have money, okay? And people fall into a situational turmoil, financial or even political, for example. And I'm sure there's no explanation needed when it comes to the political aspect of it. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, okay? So if you are in any of those turmoils or turmoil in general, I'm going to give you examples of what it's like to be unstuck with tranquility. We all deserve that. We all deserve to be unstuck. We are all boss overcomers, okay? If you don't know what BOSS stands for, it means boss overcomers with the emphasis twice on the S. Okay? We beat the odds in everything. In everything. Right down to the 299 million that we beat out. Okay? In reaching that egg first. Okay? So, there's nothing that through God we cannot overcome. Okay? And I talk about God often. I'm not trying to push my faith on anybody, but I will never, ever apologize for speaking about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, tranquility is that state of calm, okay? It is that peacefulness. Unstuck and in tranquility, that's when transformation has happened. And you've gone from being stuck with no direction, feeling alone, feeling rejected, feeling unwanted, feeling betrayed, those feelings and more. You've surpassed that to transformation, to a state of being calm and tranquil. So there are many different ways of being unstuck in tranquility. So I'm going to give you a few of them. And I'm also, as I said, I'm going to be jumping back and forth to read the comments because they're important to me. So I am looking in IG and I am looking in Facebook and I am also looking in YouTube as well. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Icon. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your comments. You are loved and resilient. Amen. Thank you so much. You're receiving value. Thank you. We love you, Sonya. Thank you. Amen. God bless you. Thank you. Keep the comments coming. I want to know if you've gotten a breakthrough, if you've gotten an aha moment, if you've gotten value or something, again, that I said tonight has resonated. And I do see new people joining, and I am beyond grateful for that, because the reason I show up week after week, no matter what it is I'm doing, no matter how I'm feeling, as long as I have breath in me and as long as my health is intact, I'm showing up, because you never know who needs to hear the message that is being delivered. And if you're one of them listening tonight, remember, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are never alone, no matter what you feel. And it's okay to feel. It's okay. It's okay if you're stuck, but just please don't stay in it too long. That's the key. Okay, so one way of being unstuck in tranquility is that self-care. Okay, and in that self-care, that is when you're nourishing your mind, your body, your spirit. You're taking time for yourself, whatever that is, whatever that means, whether it's exercising, whether it's spending time in nature as I do, walking, spa time. I check myself into a local hotel weekly, and that's my time, whether it's dyeing my hair, whether it's doing a body scrub or a hand scrub, or it's just spending time with me, doing whatever it is that I want to do, room service, whatever. Doesn't matter. You can do things that don't cost money. Sit back in a recliner, chill, listen to your favorite music. People in the past have sent me videos and pictures, them sitting in a recliner, enjoying their favorite smoothie that they made, whatever that means. Do it, please. Second, mindfulness. Don't judge yourself. Don't allow your thoughts and feelings to take over you. When you start saying, why did I do that? That was so stupid. I can't do this. Who am I? You are somebody. You can do anything. You can move mountains. Regardless what anybody has ever said to you, any negativity that anybody has said to you or says to you or ever says to you in the future, bottle that baby up. Turn that negativity, use it to fuel you, to catapult you into the direction which you choose to travel. I had many people speak negative about me, tell me I never amount to anything, that I was going to be in the system forever, that I wasn't going to graduate high school. Matter of fact, I had a guidance counselor tell me that I wasn't going to graduate with a regent's diploma. In my mind, I said, oh no, I have a choice. My choice is I'm going to do it. And I did it. I had somebody tell me I wasn't going to be able to graduate college. You have 2 kids. How are you going to graduate college? I graduated college. My kids were there. They were there. You see, you cannot tell me no. I take that as a challenge. Tell me no, and I'm going to challenge you different. Just like those flights was canceled. And I had one representative after another tell me, you're not going to fly today. Well, you know what? There wasn't going to be too much more. You ain't going to fly today. I took that on a Sunday because it was mechanical. On Monday, it was the weather. Tuesday, it was canceled. Wednesday, they were already canceling too. I said, oh no, I'm going to find me a way. And I found a way and I got home. I might have had to take shuttles and buses and two different trains from two different states, but I got home. So when somebody tells you you can't do something, if it's not health related, if it's not life threatening, bottle that up and prove to yourself that you can do it. You are important. You are a masterpiece. God chose you first. You beat out those 299 million for a reason. So don't even allow your mind to play tricks on you. The next one, in tranquility, hobbies. If you don't already have a hobby, choose a hobby, but do something that makes you happy. Even if it's a sport, whatever it is, do it. Something that you might have put on the sideline thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And journal. Journaling is so important. I journal. See, my mentor, he said to us, keep a journal, not too close, but keep a journal where you're going to be walking through back and forth and stop by and write something down. And so I do that. And I also read my Bible scriptures in the morning, and between that and For His Kingdom and watching Calvary Chapel Brandon on Sundays on YouTube, Pastor Mark, I'm grateful. I'm learning and I'm growing in my faith. And then Monday mornings at 10 o'clock For His Kingdom, my mentor, Mr. Darren Walker. It's non-denominational. If you're interested, hit me up DM and I'll shoot you the link to share. But all these things has really helped uplift me and keep me grounded where I am in a place of tranquility now. And I am no longer stuck. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit in front of you and lie and say it was easy, because it was not. I was the poster child of crying, but eventually those cries of hurt and anguish and despair and brokenness turn into tears of joy and happiness. And knowing that my community has my back, and my friends and my family, they have me back, no matter if I talk to them every day or once a week or once a month or here and there, they got my back because I got theirs. And we're all accountable to one another. And that's what's important. But you have to start with being accountable to yourself first. If you can't be accountable for yourself, nobody else can be accountable for you. So keep that in mind as well. And lastly, positive affirmations. Talk to the self-image in the mirror. Every mirror all day. I have one right here. I have a mirror right here. I really keep it like right here next to me. I talk to that self-image all day, every day. Girl, adjust that crown. Pick that head up. You're a queen. You're a queen. Boss up. You're smart. You're brave. And if you need help with that, every morning I drop a video uplifting with affirmations in it. I welcome you to watch it. It's on all the social media platforms. It's right there for you. So that's what I had to deliver today. And again, I'm going to jump back once again. 1 second. Okay. So, yes, you have laid out the blueprint for everyone to get off that struggle bus. The door is open. People have to just walk off that bus and take that first step. Yes, indeed. You are 100% right. And I'm glad you're getting value. Self care is powerful. Thanks for the reminder. Absolutely. You're welcome. Amen. Bottle that negativity and burn it for fuel. Yes, indeed. Journaling is super important. Yes. Tell them, boss up. Absolutely. We boss up. Okay. We boss up. No matter what our circumstances is, we boss up. And as I say, we woke up this morning, so everything else is like in life is operational because there's people who did not. And that's a fact. Okay. So, with that being said, I have one more thing to say, and that is on August the 6th at 7 p.m., it is a Wednesday, 7 p.m., always before the Sonya Dunge podcast. We will be having our next masterclass, and I invite all of you. The link will be dropping shortly. Um, if you're very interested, you might want to shoot me a DM, and who knows, I might send you the link ahead of time because it is first come, first served basis. And once it closes, and I can't help you with that any further. So DM me, and I might send you the link ahead of time. So with that being said, again, thank you for the new viewers that are joining. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I see that my Facebook friends, I have some that are tuning in as well for the first time. I have some that are returning. So God bless you all. And I pray that something that I said today really resonated. And just remember, you woke up this morning. Everything else in life is operational. You got that. So, with that being said, stay safe, stay well. God bless you all, and bye for now. You're so welcome. Thank you for sharing the valuable podcast tonight. Thank you. And thank you for sharing that you receive value. I very much appreciate all of you. Hope to see you in the comments as well. And I will make sure to answer each and every comment that is left.